Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we'll be talking about Palestine and Israel. In light of what just happened a few days ago, Hamas attacked Israel and killed hundreds of civilians. They had no disregard of lives. They killed just any Israeli in front of them women, children, babies, elderly, no matter who it was. They just shot and killed. Many Muslims threw their support behind Hamas right away. As usual, this is normal. They do not condemn Hamas at all for the killings. But I do believe this is because they do not understand, they do not know who Israel is and who Palestine is. Today, I want to talk about Israel and Palestine, what the Quran says. Surah Al Baqarah, verse 47. O children of Israel, remember my favor that I have bestowed upon you, and that I preferred you over the worlds. Surah Al-Baqarah, verse 122. O children of Israel, remember my favors upon you, and how I honored you above the others. Surah Al-An'am, verse 84. And we gave to him Isaac and Jacob, all we guided, and Noah we guided before, and among his descendants, David, Solomon, and Job, and Joseph, and Moses, and Aaron. Thus do we reward the doers of good. Surah Maryam, verse 49. So when we, sorry, so when he had left them, and those they worshipped other than Allah, we gave him Isaac and Jacob, and each we made a prophet. Surah Anbiya, verse 72. And we blessed him with Isaac and Jacob as additional favor, making all of them righteous. Surah Sad, verse 45. And remember our servants, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, those of strength and vision. Before I continue, do you notice what is missing? If your answer Ismail, you are correct. Ismail was born before Isaac, but strangely, he is not mentioned in any of these verses. Now, I'm not saying he is not mentioned at all. He is mentioned later on. But it is still strange how Allah seemed to forget to mention him because he was born before Isaac. It's supposed to be, if I were Allah, I would say this, and remember our servants, Abraham, Ishmael, Isaac, and Jacob. Am I not right? How could Allah forget Ismail? Anyway, let us continue. Now, this is Surah Al-Maidah, verse 21, the tafsir from Surah Al-Maidah, verse 21. But first, we will read the verse first, from verse 20, so we can see the context. And mention Muhammad. When Moses said to his people, O my people, remember the favor of Allah upon you when he appointed among you prophets and made you possessors, and gave you that which he had not given anyone among the worlds. Next. O my people, enter the blessed land, i.e., Palestine, which Allah has assigned to you, and do not turn back from fighting in Allah's cause and become losers. Now, from these two verses, it is clear that Allah gave the land to Israel. He told Moses to bring his people and enter Jerusalem. Now, Sahih International do not give the right translations. However, That's actually even better because it is very clear that Palestine was given to Israel. And today, the Palestine trying to kick the Israel out. Very strange. They are against Quran and Allah. Moreover, the Palestinians are against Prophet Muhammad because Prophet Muhammad received the revelation. Very strange, right? Anyway, I don't usually use Sahih International because of this. While I'm here, I want to show you something. It says, made you possessors, and I prepared also one from Yusuf Ali, made you kings. Which one is correct? Possessors or kings? Now, when we read Quran or Bible, we want to get the best translation. So we know what it really says. If you are in doubt, don't worry. Just click the Arabic and listen to it. Now listen carefully. This is the word in Arabic.
ملوكا
It says mulukan. Mulukan means kings, not possessors. So Yusuf Ali in this uh, in this verse, he had given a better translation because kings. So because King David and King Solomon, and also King Saul, also in Quran. Don't forget. Anyway, let us continue with the next one. This one is Surah An-Kabut, verse 27. First, I want us to read the verse. And we gave to him Isaac and Jacob, and placed in his descendants prophethood and scripture. And we gave him his reward in this world. And indeed, he's in the hereafter among the righteous. So this again talking about Abraham was given Isaac and Jacob, not Ismail. Again. So from all these verses, we can see how Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the patriarchs of Israel, of the Jews, were mentioned many times in Quran in a very honorable way. And the Jews, through Moses, was given a land. Even Quran doesn't mention what land it was. But if you read the Bible, you can see it is Israel. It is the Canaan. The real name is Canaan. Palestine is not the real name. Now, many people, they always think about, they know that many Muslims know the name of Ibrahim, Ishaq, and Yaqub, but they do not know who is Israel because even the Quran mentioning the children of Israel many, many times, they do not know who Israel is. Let us take a look from alim.org. Here, as you can see, number 10, Jacob becomes Israel. If you're a Christian, it is very simple because you can read from the book of Genesis, chapter 32, verse 22 to 31. Let us read the Bible version first, since we are here. Jacob wrestles with God. Now, before I continue reading, many times Muslims making fun of this. How can a person wrestle with God? If you are active online, you will see this many times. But Jacob wrestling against an angel. But this is an angel from God. An angel from God is as good as God Himself. Why? Because let me give you an example. When a king sent a messenger and the messenger read the message from the king, normally the people will kneel even though the king is not there. But they treat the messenger as the king himself. Why? Because he carries the message from the king. Now Jacob wrestled against an angel, but because this is an angel from God, it is as good as wrestling with God himself. Understood, right? Now let me continue. That night Jacob got up and took his two wives, his two female servants, and his 11 sons and crossed the ford of the Jabbok, in English. After he had sent them across the stream, he sent over all his possessions. So Jacob was left alone, and a man wrestled with him till daybreak. When the man saw that he could not overpower him, he touched the socket of Jacob's hip, so that his hip was wrenched as he wrestled again with the man. Then the man said, "Let me go, for it is daybreak." But Jacob replied, "I will not let you go unless you bless me." The man asked him, "What is your name?" "Jacob," he answered. Then the man said, "Your name will no longer be Jacob, but Israel, because you have struggled with God and with humans and have overcome." Jacob said, "Please tell me your name." But he replied, "Why do you ask my name?" Then he blessed him there. So Jacob called the place Peniel, saying, "It is because I saw God face to face, and yet my life was spared." The sun rose above him as he passed Peniel, and he was limping because of his hip. There you go. This is the story how Jacob wrestled with God in the Bible. Now, we go back to alim.org. Number 10, Jacob becomes Israel. Let us click on this. Now you can see here, let us read. This is the explanation from Muslim scholars. How Jacob became Israel. When the dawn of the second day came, one of the angels appeared in the shape of a man. Jacob began to wrestle with him. They were neck to neck until the angel injured his thigh, and Jacob became lame. When the day was breaking, the angel said to him, "What is your name?" He answered, "Jacob." The angel said, "After today, you shall not be called anything but Israel." Jacob asked, "And who are you? What is your name?" He vanished. Then Jacob knew that he was one of the angels. Jacob was lame, and for this reason, the children of Israel do not eat the thigh muscles on the hip socket. This time they got it correct. But the problem is this is not in Quran and not even in Hadith. Not even in Hadith. Now, but anyway, so now we know who Jacob is, even from Islam sources. Israel is Jacob. Jacob became Israel. He changed his name. So every time Muslims saying Israel is the devil, I don't know who they are referring to. Are they referring to Jacob or just the government of Israel? Now, if you hate the government of Israel, I will never say anything. It's your right. But if you hate the people, that is wrong. Why? People are people. Doesn't matter they're good or bad. Muslims, anyone, still do not have right to kill them. God gave life, and it is His right to take the life. It is never our right, since we do not create. Sure, we can have sex and have babies, but it is not the same as giving life. And you know what I mean. Now, let's go back to Palestine and the Israeli conflict. Muslims do not understand what the Quran even saying when Quran says Allah gave Ibrahim this and that, how Allah made the Israeli kings. They do not know what it means. If we go back thousands and thousands of years ago, maybe about 2,900 years ago, the time of King David, how King David defeated Goliath. Many people know the story. Many people have heard the story. Muslims know the story, but they do not know who is who. In their mind, King David is their king and Goliath is Israel. Do you see them how they always throw stones at Israelis? Because they mimicked King David throwing the stone at Goliath. But they do not know. The Palestinians, they do not know. King David is the king of Israel and Goliath is their hero. It's the other way around. Let us take a look at the Quran, what the Quran says. Surah Al-Baqarah. It's the story from verse 246 to 252. However, I will just read you one verse actually, just to make it quick. All right. Surah Al-Baqarah, verse 251. So they defeated them by permission of Allah, and David killed Goliath. Allah gave him the kingship and wisdom, and taught him from that which he willed. And if it were not for Allah checking people by means of others, the earth would have been corrupted. But Allah is the possessor of bounty for the worlds. Now, let me now remember Surah Al-Maidah. Let me bring you back. I think it was this one here. Sorry. Where is that? All right, Surah Al-Maidah. Sorry about that. Surah Al-Maidah. Many people have read these two verses, verse 20 and 21, but not too many people read the rest. Earlier I read you, until all my people enter the Holy Land which Allah hath assigned unto you, and turn not back ignominiously, for then will you be overthrown to your own ruin. But if we continue reading, let us continue to read a little bit. Surah Al-Maidah, verse 22, Shahia International. They said, O Moses, indeed within it is a people of tyrannical strength, and indeed we will never enter it until they leave But if they leave, then we will enter. So the Israelis were so scared of those people who live in Israel that time, in Canaan that time, because they are very strong and they are tyrant. In verse 26, Allah actually punished the Israelis. Now, this story is in Bible and very detailed in Bible, but in Quran it's not detailed, but here and there is quite similar. Let us read Surah Al-Maidah, verse 26. Then indeed it is forbidden to them for 40 years. They will wander throughout the land, so do not grieve over the defiantly disobedient people. So Allah punished them wandering around for 40 years. Why? Because they refused to enter the land. The land. What land? If we go back to, according to Sahih International, the land Allah gave to the Israel is Palestine. Now, we go back to Al-Baqarah, verse 251. David killed Goliath, and Allah gave him the kingship and the wisdom, and taught him from that which he willed. And if it not were for Allah checking people by means of others, the earth would have been corrupted. Corrupted by whom? By the Palestinians. Am I not right? By the Palestinians. If you ask people from Palestine, regular people from Palestine today, do they like Hamas? How is Hamas? They will tell you how corrupted Hamas is. The leaders of Hamas, they have vacation houses maybe in Germany, in France. They use millions of dollars just to buy vacation homes for themselves, while the people do not even have enough food, electricity, and water. As you can see, David killed Goliath. Okay, fine, by the permission of Allah, even better. Because Allah wanted the land to be good, not corrupted anymore. Now, just before I close this video, I just want to make sure everybody know who Jalut is. Now, so many people, they do not remember who Goliath was, who Jalut was. Jalut was the name Muslim gave to Goliath. Let us take a look. This is, the website is liveinsaudiarabia.net. Jalut was a giant ruler of the Philistines who used to reside in the areas around the settlements of Israel. There had been many fights and battles between Israelis and the Philistines. Now again, in the old days, it was not Palestinians, it was Philistines. Anyway, I hope after this video, if you're a Muslim, you understand a little more what's going on between Palestinians and Israelis. It's nothing. It's nothing more than jealousy and just pure hatred. Do not fall. Do not fall for it. Make sure you stand. You throw your support behind the good one, not the bad one. Again, I'm telling you, I'm not saying the government of Israel is always good, but trust me, Hamas is worse. Even Al Fatah also worse. They are all bad guys. Your Quran says so. You have to remember why David killed Goliath. Who is David? The king of Israel. Who is Goliath? The ruler of the Philistine. Make sure you stand by, you throw your support behind those who are good, not the bad one. All right? Well, that's all from me for tonight. Whether you support Hamas or Israel, God bless you. Have a nice life.